What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. Today we're going to focus in on, what I just looking over some notes of, the NHL over the last 10 years, and kind of stumbled on when Dean Lombardi took over the Kings 10 years ago, and what he set out to do with that nucleus in Los Angeles. Look back to and then tie it into how it corresponds to the Boston Bruins. So when Lombardi had taken over as GM in 2006. The Kings had won one playoff series since they lost in the Stanley Cup final in 93. So one series win in 13 years. And one win in that same span without Gretzky. Actually, I'm just going to look up on it. That 93 final was the last time Wayne Gretzky played a playoff game as an LA King. I just thought that was kind of, whatever. Anyway, so Dino takes over and just starts wheeling and dealing. Pablo Dimitri's traded, rest in peace. Pablo Dimitri was traded away at the 2006 draft. They, send out Eric Belanger and Tim Gleason to Carolina in exchange for, a disgruntled 19-year-old named Jack Johnson. I know I just badmouthed Jack Johnson on another piece, but my point being, he set out to add young players and, quite frankly, make the team suck as much as you can. Bottom out. Not all Lombardi's picks were, home runs. I mean, you look at his first round with the Kings. Bernier, okay goalie. Fans in Toronto, I beg to disagree. And Trevor Lewis. Trevor Lewis, nice fourth liner. No one's mistake. And in fairness to, let's go back in retrospect, he had Andrei Kopitar from the previous regime, and he had Dustin Brown and some of the other young guys, Camilleri from the previous regime. So the cupboard wasn't empty when he got there. Let's preface that statement. But you look at a lot of the moves he was making in those first couple of years. It was let's get as bad as possible, and start this all over again. Trading away Greg Conroy, trading away, like I said, Sean Avery and a lot of other guys, and just clearing the deck. Let's do this all over again. And then, the team, the ultimate thing was getting to be one of the worst teams in 2007, 2008, and then being able to acquire Drew Doughty via the NHL draft. That was, Doughty with that number 2 pick was quite a move. And then from there, everything started to turn, in the Kings' favor. I mean, they weren't out of the wilderness yet, but he was able to flip some of the assets he had, acquire a Ryan Smith, get that team back, acquire Justin Williams in exchange for Patrick O'Sullivan, so get the team to where, all right, we got some good talent, we got this, and then make the big splash for, Mike Richards and eventually Jeff Carter, and, the rest is history. The Bruins need to look at that. The Bruins need to look at, all right, we can either wait and be mediocre for the next 3 years and accomplish nothing, or we can just blow it up and, get this thing going. I mean, it was 4 years between Lombardi taking over and the Kings making the playoffs for the first time since 2002. So, otherwise, they would have... I mean, you look at some of those Kings teams in between... when Gretzky retired or when Gretzky got traded to St. Louis, and the Kopitar, Brown, Camilleri. I know they eventually traded Camilleri, but and guys like Glenn Murray, Joseph Stumple, Jason Allison, none of them were being mistaken for Gretzky. That's for damn sure. And I think you're able to look at that and be like, they were mediocre long enough. And Dino came in and said, all right, clear the decks, let's do this. And that, and then it was Lombardi's draft record, like I said, hasn't been stellar. I mean, he hit Doughty out of the park, which I think that was a 2-player draft, Stamkos and Doughty, and I think it's safe to say they've both done okay. But just shit like that. And I mean, like Colton Tuber in the first round, Thomas Hickey in the first round. I mean, Hickey's turned into a good player on the island. Passed on some talented guys to add Hickey. So, we'll see if Don Sweeney looks at the Dean Lombardi playbook of how to rebuild an organization. But I think and I know the Kings window is it closed or not is a kind of question. But I think they're going to make some noise this year. Obviously, they've still got the nucleus intact, and I think them and Chicago are both in it for at least one more year as favorites in the Western Conference. And you can say they can't. One cup's a fluke. Two is a testament that what you've done has been successful. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's all I got in this episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the off season and beyond. Later, guys.